First fire of the year, y'all.
I'll get it in there. Got it full of coals. Bigger steak than I normally put in there. So I'll just put a big one.
Hey, friends. Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler Homestead. I'm Miss Lori and so happy that you're here with me. You know, I've got lots of new subscribers, and I want to welcome each and every one of y'all. And every one of y'all that's been with me for so long, thank you so much. So, y'all sit down with me today in my kitchen. I'm just going to be cooking up some things that I think you might, want to either incorporate it maybe on your holiday table or just at your regular dinner table at supper time or potlucks or anything. I'm just going to be making it for me and Mr. Brown tonight for our supper, and there will be leftovers. Somebody wants to come get some of it, the kids or something, they're welcome to it. But this recipe is for 2 people, but it can be adapted and for even more if you're feeding more people. I also know that groceries are very high, so I'm going to be using things that are in my pantry, in my refrigerator, with the exception of just a few things that I may have had to buy. But I feel like this is just a simple meal that wouldn't cost you a lot of money. And with what I'm cooking and the amount that I'm cooking, you can feed 2 to 4 or maybe even 5 people. It just depends on, I guess, how hungry they are and how big a boy they are. But I tend to think that a lot of times we overcook and make way too much. And we've always done that, all of us. And maybe we just need to scale down a little bit and just make things more simpler, of course. And that's just my philosophy. Don't go out and think you got to spend $200 on Thanksgiving dinner that's going to last, by the time you get it cooked, you spent hours on it, a lot of money, and within about 15 minutes, it's gone. Yes, everybody enjoyed it, and everybody just thanks you so much for, going to the trouble of putting such a beautiful meal on the table. But do we really need all that? It's a consumer world out there, and businesses know that. We do want to make our holidays special, but I feel like we can make them special without going out into the world and having to consume so much worldly things, to make our holiday special. So, anyways, let's make a pork tenderloin, and sometimes you can even do it with just a pork loin, and a lot of times you can find them pork loins on sale. The pork tenderloin's usually not, but they're still not that expensive. So when you break it down, a lot of times your pork tenderloin, the one I bought was about $3.64 a pound, and there was almost 3 pounds in that one package. There was 2 pork tenderloins, and each one was just a little over a pound. And me and Danny figured that you could feed on them 2 pounds, a little over 2 pounds of pork tenderloin. You could feed anywhere from 4 to 5 people very easily with it. And it was a little less than $11. So that's a good deal. We're not big on turkey. I do have ham, and y'all see me make my slow cooker ham, and I've got it put up, and I've got it in the freezer ready to just have to warm it up Thanksgiving Day. Depends on how many people might be coming. I may have to get another small ham because my family loves ham. And I did talk about maybe getting a small turkey breast, but if it's too expensive, I won't. And they'll be okay with that because they'll have chicken and dressing and all the good stuff that they love so much. So I've already got my chicken in the freezer. All I have to do is whip up the dressing, and that don't cost a lot of money. And just, everybody will bring a side dish. So everybody's not out a bunch of money for us to sit down and fellowship together and have a good meal. So let's get started on our pork tenderloin, stuffed pork tenderloin, and just a couple side dishes to go with it. So we've got about 4 slices of chopped up bacon, a small onion, some garlic, goat cheese, and pepper jelly. Okay, our pork tenderloin here, I went ahead and cut a little bit of the fat off and some of that yucky stuff there, some of that muscle and stuff on there. It makes it kind of tough. I'm going to take it, and I've got the thick end pointed up towards me, and I'm just going to take my sharp knife that Danny sharpened for me, and I'm going to cut a pocket down through here. Very carefully, because you don't want to go all the way through the tenderloin. You want to leave it, about a 1/2 inch thickness through that cut, so that you don't cut all the way through it. Because you do that, if you cut through it, you're not going to be able to roll it up. You're just going to have 2 pieces. So just be very careful and cut down through there and just kind of butterfly that open. And, if you got some sides that are still thick, of course, we're going to beat this down. We're going to tenderize it, and we're going to beat it a little bit to flatten it out. So, but if you still got, one side that's too thick, you can go ahead and do a tri-cut is what we call it, and that's just cutting another pocket and open it up one more time. And that does help. You just got to be careful, like I said, not to cut all the way through. Make sure you don't cut your fingers, too, from a sharp knife. And just kind of fold it back. And you've kind of thinned that thick piece out just like that. You butterflied that open. But we are going to be beating this, so it will thin it out on each side, too. Okay, I've got another one here. Each one of these tenderloins weighed just a little over 2 pounds a piece, I believe. And I kind of trimmed the fat and some of the tendons and stuff off it too. So I'm going to find the thick side, and I'm going to cut another slit right down it, another pocket. Being careful that I don't go all the way through. Now, if this was one of the big loins, not tenderloin, but pork loin, I'd have to do a tri-fold cut on it because they're so thick. But this is just our tenderloin, so they're not as big. And believe me, I have messed up and cut too far a lot of times and kind of messed up, but I always got it to work. You just have to be careful. And they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be, perfect on each end. One end's always going to be not as thick as the other end. And that's the end that I usually tuck under after I roll it up. So it's about the same thickness. Okay, I'm going to use my handy dandy pounder here that I've had for years. And I use this thing for pounding kraut and everything with. Thing's old. So you're just going to beat the fooey out of this. Try to get it the same all the way through, which is, I usually try to get it maybe just a little less than 1/2 inch thickness, because you want to be able to roll it up really easy. that stuff off there. So if you got a lot of frustration, you can even use, this is my little rolling pin that I make my flour tortillas with. You can beat the fooey out of it with it. Just use whatever you got that will work. You can even use a dang little pot. Just beat it, beat it, beat it. Whatever it takes. Get all your frustrations out. Or you can even do the high karate on it. We've got it done now. It's about the right thickness to start rolling, filling it and rolling it up. And you see I've got some odd pieces on the end, but that's okay. They still eat, so we'll figure it out. So that piece is done. They're all ready to go. So I'm just going to put some salt and pepper on here. If you want to put any kind of spices on here, this is when you do it. Seasoning, just put whatever you want on there. I'm just putting salt and pepper right now. We're going to let my meat rest just a little bit, and we're going to start frying up a little bit of bacon. This is my cast iron. I believe it's a 9x13. My bacon, what I do a lot of, well, I never really bake in this, but I use it for a lot of other things. Pretty sure it's 9x13, but it's going to be the right size for me to roast my tenderloins in. So you just use whatever you got that will work, whether if you're roasting one or two. Okay, the bacon is not cooked all the way, but I'm going to go ahead and add my onions. And I'm just going to let this cook a little bit, let the onions get tender, and then we'll add the garlic. I don't want my garlic to burn and get bitter, so I'm just really going to watch it and not let it cook very long, probably less than a minute. Then I'm just going to turn off my heat, and I'm going to take my bacon and onions and garlic out and put it in a bowl. Because I'm going to cook down some fresh spinach in this pan too. So I'm going to try to get all these bits out of here. I can't tell you how good it smells in this kitchen right now with all this garlic and onions going on. Mr. Brown's out there with the leaf blower, just going crazy blowing all them leaves. I'm telling you. I don't know that he'll ever get it done because there's so many. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of my pan right now. And this is about 6 ounces of fresh spinach. Now, if it's like I don't like spinach, or my kids aren't going to like spinach, or, you know, you don't want to put it in there, you don't really have to have spinach in there. But I like it in there. I think it's a, you know, it's just a good ingredient to have mixed in with all the other stuff for your stuffing for your tenderloin. It just makes it taste so good. Gives it that pretty color too. Put a little bit of salt. Now y'all know that this is going to cook down. You're only going to have probably a handful of spinach left by the time it cooks down. Put a little bit of pepper. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil to the top of it, and just keep stirring it because it won't take long. It's going to be wilted completely down. And this spinach will go in with our other ingredients that will be making the filling for the pork tenderloin. Okay, we're just going to mix up our filling now. Now, believe me, I am no big chef. I'm just a home cook, just a country cook. But I just do what I can, as I can, how I know what I can, and what ingredients I can get a hold of. And like I was talking about, these pork tenderloins, they're going to be higher than your regular pork loin. And for the money, your pork loin is a lot better for your money. But, you know, it is holidays, but still at that, these two, I can put one in the freezer, or I can go ahead and serve two of them, and that was just less than $11 for both of them. So if you're cooking for two, just do one of them. You're going to have some left over, but you know what? It'll be good the next day. This is 8 ounces of goat cheese. And I just got this at Walmart. It's nothing fancy. It's just plain goat cheese. I can't pronounce the name, so anyways, it's 8 ounces. It's just plain goat cheese, nothing special. And it's not the crumbles, it's moist, where you can mix it up. I mean, it does crumble, but it's not like the real dry crumbles, is what I'm saying. I'm going to mix up my spinach that I sauteed up with that goat cheese. Now, a lot of these ingredients, if you don't want to use spinach, don't put it in there. You know, you can pretty much make this your recipe. I'm just giving you some ideas, and this is delicious. Now, if you bought a big pork loin, like I said, it'd be a tri-fold cut, so you're going to have a bigger roll and feed a lot more people. And you would double and triple this recipe. Okay, we're going to put in our bacon, our onions, and our garlic. And we're just going to mix that around. Now, I don't think I've ever rolled up a pork loin, a stuffed pork loin. It'd just be absolutely perfect all the way through. It'd have a hole in it, or it'd be uneven. But there's tricks to that. Okay, we also have our raspberry hot pepper jelly. Now, this is optional too. If you don't have pepper jelly, or you don't like anything spicy, you can use dried fruit like dried cranberries, apricots, or you can use a apricot jam or something like that. It's just having that little bit of fruit with your pork, and it's so delicious. And like I said, if you don't like nothing spicy, I always taste your, whether it's homemade or store-bought, taste your hot pepper jelly and see how spicy it is. If it's too spicy, you think that your guests or the little kids wouldn't eat it. Or, you know, if you love it spicy, this is absolutely delicious putting it on this pork, though. But there's just so many different variations you can use. Now you want to leave at least, you know, half an inch or so down each side because you're going to be rolling it. Your filling doesn't have to be real thick on there, because once you roll it up, you know, you're going to have plenty of filling throughout your meat. You could also put some kind of pine nuts. You could roast it up some almonds. You know, that's just up to you what you would want to put in this filling. Dried fruit is really good though. It really is. Me and Mr. Brown love the fruit and pork together. And then we absolutely love either cream cheese or goat cheese with hot pepper jelly with crackers. We can sit down and eat that. We can sit down and eat that for lunch sometimes and nothing else. It's just so good. So, you know, we're thinking, why not just, you know, put it on a pork tenderloin. I got to make sure I got enough for my other. Now, when you roll this up, you can either tie it with kitchen twine or you can do it with toothpicks. It's whichever works best for you. Now I'm going to take some of this hot pepper jelly, and I'm not going to put it real thick. Just kind of dabble it over like this. I tell you what's good too with hot pepper jelly is when you make pulled pork. If y'all would like to see me do that sometime, just leave it down in the comments. And maybe we'll do that sometime. It's an awesome recipe. It's so good. I feel like I want just a little bit more on there, because I can always warm up some more. And when you warm it up, you don't have to warm it up. It just makes it easier to make it spreadable. And you can see how this right here was slit like that, but all I have to do is put a toothpick in that and it will hold it together. Just like you're sewing, just kind of in and out there. And then you want to turn it over on that seam side. But the first thing I'm going to do is tie it. Okay, I'm probably going to have to use 4 pieces of kitchen twine on this one because it's a little bit bigger. And there is a fancier way of doing this. I just don't worry about that, y'all. Fancy is not my name. If you have some kind of goobing out the end, it's okay. You're just going to tuck that into anyways. Take your string underneath it and tie it. Yeah, there's going to be some of the inside that's going to kind of ooze out during baking anyways, but that's okay. We're not worried about that. So what you can do is take these and go underneath like this. I'm not worried about that. And there's also a fancy way of doing that. A lot of y'all probably know how. So I'm going to do the other one. This one down here where it was split, you know, I told you we could fix that. So I'm going to take a toothpick and just run it in there to hold that together. Just like that. Okay, we're taking toothpicks here at the seam part after rolling it up, and I'm just putting it together like this, holding it together with the toothpicks. And this is not going to hurt nothing. When you go to browning it and roasting it, it's going to be just fine. And you can put as many in it as you want. And you know when you take it out, to slice it up, you'll know to either cut the strings of your kitchen twine or to take toothpicks out. And this was the end that it was not even, so I'm going to also put a toothpick in it. And to get all your sides in the middle and all of it, try to get it the same thickness. That way it all cooks, you know, roast up at the same, you know, same time. You not got one end that's done, the other end that's not, is what I'm trying to say. So your thickness needs to, from one end to the other, needs to be pretty much the same. So you can take this and then go around it lengthwise if you wanted to. You can use whatever you've got. And then my oven is heating at 400 degrees. Preparing this roast takes longer than it does to cook it, I think. But it's really not. It doesn't take that long. Like I always tell y'all, it looks like it does because I'm trying to film it. And, you know. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And it's going to be good. Now, whatever seasoning that you want to put on the outside of these is up to you. I'm going to put maybe just a little bit more salt, not much. A little bit more pepper. I'm not going to put any garlic or anything like that on it. It's just going to be simple like that. You can sprinkle some paprika on it, some Italian seasoning, or anything like that. I think it's going to be good just like it is. Now I'm only going to sear one loin at a time. I don't want them crowded in here while I'm trying to brown them up. So all I want to do is put each one in there separately, just kind of brown them on every side. Just, you know, searing them juices is what I'm wanting to do. Okay, we got them good and seared on all sides. And it's so funny, I brought them over here. And I had this one sitting back there while I was searing the other one. I thought, Lori, why did you just put salt and pepper on that? You are the spice girl. Where's your spices? I thought, okay, rosemary. And then I looked over here and I forgot. I had this sitting here, and this is roasted garlic and rosemary already mixed up together. And this is from Sam's Club, I figure. Yeah, it's Members Mark. Anyways, it's really good stuff. So, rosemary and garlic on top of the tenderloin. Be really good. So, I've got this turned off, I thought. Yeah. I'm going to put them juices from where it was sitting over here waiting on the other one. And this is going in a 400-degree oven. I figure this one will get done before this one. I like for the internal temperature of my pork tenderloin to be about 148, somewhere in there. Your pork tenderloin can be just tiny, tiny, tiny pink inside. You don't have to overcook your pork. So I'll check the internal temperature at 20 minutes. I just remembered that I forgot my half a cup of apple cider to pour in the pan. But you don't have to use apple cider. You can use apple juice. You can use plain water. You can use a broth, a vegetable broth or chicken, whatever. Or if you like cooking with wine, cooking wine, you can put a half a cup of that in the bottom too. Just half a cup. Sometimes, you just lose it. Okay, our tenderloins are out of the oven. It took 25 minutes. I ticked it at 20 minutes and I put it on another 5 minutes. And I'm just going to use my baster here, and we're just going to take these juices and just baste these tenderloins. Make them good and moist. And them juices has got a lot of flavor in it. Gonna be so good. So you want your internal to be at least 145. But you don't want to go over, you really don't want to go over 150 because you're just going to overcook your pork. But what we'll do is we'll cover this up and we're going to let it rest before we cut into it. Okay, we're going to make some garlic chive potatoes to go with our pork tenderloin. And I've just got some golden russet potatoes here, probably about 4, and I've got 3 pretty good sized cloves of garlic that I just kind of smashed with my knife. Gonna throw them in there, and we're gonna turn the fire on and let them boil till they're tender. This table was always, if y'all remember that big green Tupperware bowl that always had the lid that went on it, it was always full of fruit salad. Every Thanksgiving, and I believe every Christmas get-together there was one too. And usually Grandma would make the fruit salad. I think sometimes my Aunt Judy would make it sometimes and bring it. And it was like the star of the show usually because everybody loved fruit salad. But it got to the point that it just wasn't showing up on the table as much. And it's because fruit got so high. I mean, you can go to the store and just make a regular bowl of fruit salad from buying grapes and apples and bananas and fresh pineapple, and just the list goes on and on. And you've got anywhere from $30 to $40 worth of fruit that you're trying to make a salad out of. And I'm sure there's times it's even higher than that. I'm just pulling stuff out of my pantry to show you can make a fruit salad a lot cheaper than that. And it's really good. You just got to use your imagination and, a lot of canned fruit, we know that it's not as good for you as fresh fruit, but we can't always get fresh fruit all the time. But the canned fruit's really good, a lot of it. And I do buy a lot of great value fruit. Sometimes if maybe Dole or something, there'll be something on sale, I'll grab some of those. I've always got marshmallows. I always usually have pecans at least in the freezer. And I always keep at least a couple little jars of maraschino cherries in my pantry. This is about 10 ounces. And then usually, you know, I've always got either where I canned up peaches or apples or pears. I've got blueberry pie filling in the pantry and stuff like that. But I didn't have any peach pie filling. So what I do is I go, and I always keep a couple cans of some kind of pie filling, peach or strawberry or blueberry or apple. I always keep them in the pantry because I make a lot of fried pies. And I don't always have fresh apples to cook down. I don't always have, you know, just apples laying around, or I don't have fresh peaches. So there's always some kind of pie filling in the pantry. And if I don't have some, you know, home canned, you know, I can always go back to this. So right here we've got us a fruit salad. I had a can of these pear halves, and this is a 15-ounce can that I need to cut up. And usually these canned pears are always usually really good. I love canned pears. I like to just open them up and eat them by themselves. I know I've heard several people that would always, at potlucks and stuff, that would bring fruit salad. And they're just, it's the same thing every time. It's, I can't afford to make fruit salad. It's too expensive. And that's just understandable. You know, we used to make fruit trays and stuff like that. And it's just too expensive. So these were halves. So like I said, I'm going to cut them up. And this goes together really quick. So if you're needing to go somewhere and just throw something quick together, because I guarantee you fruit salad usually is one of the first things to go off the table. So I'm using the canned pears in place of fresh apples. And I've got the chunked up pineapple. This is a 20-ounce can of chunks. And I drained all my fruit, and I saved all the juice back, and I'm going to put it in a mason jar and put it in the refrigerator because I'll drink it. I'll put some on some ice and I'll drink that juice. So we got the pears, pineapples. I've got a can of mandarin oranges here, 15 ounces, drained. And you can double this if you've got more fruit, like fruit cocktail, stuff like that in your pantry. I'm going to go ahead and put these maraschino cherries in it. I love maraschino cherries. I've got a handful of just mini marshmallows here. I got about a cup of pecans. You can use walnuts, so you don't have to put any nuts in it at all. You can also put some flaked coconut in here if you got a handful of coconut. And then this is what's going to bind and sweeten up my fruit, is the peach pie filling. And you can see that it has peaches, fresh cut up peaches. So you don't have to add your canned peaches to it. So the juice from this peach pie filling is what's going to, like I said, bind your fruit together and sweeten it up. So you want to make sure you get all that in there. And this is all that it is. That is your pantry, easy, pretty much frugal fruit salad. Because like I said, you can use whatever you got. Now, if you got a banana that you want to cut up in this and put in here, don't do it till you're about to serve it. And then slice your banana up and mix it in there. Because your bananas, regardless, are going to turn color. So you just want to mix all this up. I'll get me a different spoon. And this is something you don't have to serve it, but you could have this for your kids as a snack after, you know, we like eating a little bit of fruit and stuff after we eat supper. And you can see how much this makes. So if you doubled it, it's going to make a pretty big bowl. You can serve this out of the bowl, or you can put it in little serving dishes and put you some whipped topping on top, or if you had a little thing of Cool Whip or something, the kids would probably really enjoy that. So there it is. That is our easy, out of the pantry fruit salad. It's pretty. Oh, and I don't know if I said grapes, but grapes are really high too. So that's when, if you used fruit cocktail, you know, that fruit cocktail's always got a little bit of grapes in it, so. It's really good. And it's not too sweet. So, there you go. Your go-to fruit salad out of the pantry. Okay, now we're going to make some green beans. And it's going to be just a little bit different. It's going to be just some green beans with a little more flavor in it. And I'm going to start with 2 different fats. I'm going to have, of course, I'm going to be rendering up about 2 sticks of bacon. And I'm also going to add, because I always have bacon grease in the refrigerator, I'm going to add another tablespoon of my bacon grease in there. Can't have too much bacon grease in your green beans. I'm also going to have a tablespoon of butter. And I'm just going to let this bacon fry up. And once it gets just almost done, I'm going to throw my onions in here. I know everything that I've been cooking today is either, it's got bacon, it's got garlic, it's got everything in it, but you know, it's all about flavor. Okay, my bacon's rendering really good. It's not cooked all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and add my onions. Just about a half of an onion. I'm going to let this cook for just a little bit, and then I'll add my minced garlic. Got about 2 cloves there that I minced up. And you can see how much, you know, I've got that rendered bacon grease and that tablespoonful of butter, so it's really going to make it taste good. Now I'm going to be using, if you've got your own canned green beans, probably need about 1 quart. You can use frozen green beans. I had these cut Italian green beans in my pantry that's been in there a while for backup. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 cans of these so I can get them used up and out of my pantry. I froze most of my green beans this year because I had home canned green beans left from the year before last. But these do need to be used up. So let me cook my onions down just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my minced up garlic. I only want it to cook just less than a minute. We got garlic on our pork tenderloin, we got garlic in our green beans, we got it in our mashed potatoes. But garlic is really, really good for you. So if you can incorporate it if you like it in most of your dishes, It is good for you, especially if you know, were able to grow it in your own garden. Okay, I'm going to take these green beans. I drained all the juices out of it. Let's set up just a little bit. It smells really good. Now what I'm going to add, since I drained the green beans, I'm going to add about half a cup of chicken stock. And then to set these green beans off, I'm going to use a low sodium soy sauce. Not a whole lot, probably about a tablespoon or so. And I'm just going to let these come to a simmer, and I'm going to let them simmer for quite a while. I'm going to let them simmer till all the juices reduce down for sure. I'm going to put some pepper. I don't think I'm going to add any salt to it until I taste it, since I put the chicken broth, even though it was low sodium and low sodium soy sauce, I'm still going to wait before I put any more salt. And plus I got bacon in it, so here we go. So no more salt right now. So I'm going to let that simmer for a while. Okay, our potatoes are tender, and I drained all the water, and I kept those 3 garlic cloves that I crushed up and put in here. They're still in there. I'm going to put some pepper. Now I put about 1/4 cup of milk in my measuring cup, and I put a half a stick of butter. And I put it in the microwave and melted it and warmed my milk up. So as I'm mashing this up, those garlic cloves should mash up in here with my potatoes. Now if you like a lot of garlicky tasting potatoes, you can put more garlic in there and boil it with your potatoes. You can even put your garlic in the oven and roast it, and then add that to your mashed potatoes. That's good too. So I didn't need all that. Wasn't much left. So you just want to mix that up and mash it up till you get your potatoes the consistency that you like. Some people like them really thick, some people don't. No, we don't need no more salt. Let me get this off of here. You can see my green beans are back there cooking away. That's the way I want them to cook down. Some people put a little bit of brown sugar in there. I don't want them sweet, so I'm not going to be putting no brown sugar in mine. Even though I do like them that way, that's not the way I want them tonight, so. Now, we need a little bit of chives in here. Put some more black pepper. I went out to the garden, and of course we had row crop covers over everything because it got below freezing last night. But my chives were fine. So I got, this is about a tablespoon of chopped up fresh chives. If you have like dried chives, they're good. I use them sometimes to put on baked potatoes and stuff. It will be a little bit different texture and taste though than your fresh. It's really good. So I think I can leave it alone now. And that will be our potatoes. Our green beans will be done pretty soon. And then we'll cut into our pork tenderloin. Okay, our tenderloin's been sitting a while. I took the toothpicks out and the strings. I cut it off. So let's slice it. I don't like to slice them too thick. There's the end piece. It's so tender. So you can see what it looks like in the middle. That is your stuffed tenderloin with goat cheese, spinach, pepper jelly, garlic, all that good stuff. You see how all the juices have cooked out? They're done now. I'll turn them off. Hey, here's mine and Danny's supper. Looks quite good. Green beans, potatoes, garlic chive potatoes, our stuffed tenderloin, and our little bit of fruit salad there with a little bit of whipped topping. It's going to be delicious. Looks really good. Well, that was a very good supper. Me and Hank's going to go out here by the garden and make sure everything's still covered up. It's so beautiful out here this afternoon. The sun's just coming right down through them beautiful trees. It's changing colors. Look at all the leaves. Y'all think Mr. Brown will ever get all the leaves blown? I don't think so. We live in the woods. Thank y'all for being with us today. I enjoyed cooking and y'all being with me while I was cooking. Just enjoyed the day. I hope y'all can incorporate some of these recipes in maybe your holiday cooking. Checking on the girls to make sure they're okay. They're doing good. So God bless everybody. We love y'all. We're going to see y'all in a few days. Y'all stay warm. My second cookbook is still for sale, y'all. The information is right up there in the corner. We'll see y'all in a few days.